And automatically, our physical, mental, and emotional bodies come into a higher alignment and frequency as the higher parts of ourselves come in, integrate, commune with the various levels of frequencies that indeed we incorporate, emanate, and are connected to. And so we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, in the remembering that we breathe the breath of Brahma, we breathe the breath of God, easily with grace and ease. Our physical, mental, emotional bodies begin to vibrate in a higher frequency because of the electron spin that begins to accelerate. And this divine and sacred alchemy that takes place from the densest of the frequency to the most high is all part of the magic of who and what we are. So we breathe the sacred in-breath, and all the concerns of material world now begin to fade into the background as that part of us begins to rise in frequency, expand in consciousness, and move into the higher realms of celestial light, easily, graceful. For we have walked this path, we have trained, we have gone through the challenges, go beyond the challenges, have learned the things that we ought to learn, like tempered steel, to be molded into perfection, to break through the delusions, the illusions, the miscreations. And even though it can be painful, even though it is challenging, even though it's bringing us into the unknown, there is the divine, sacred, holy grace and the divine Holy Spirit, Shekinah, that flows in here, flows in its frequency, beginning to move into the crown chakra, sensing, feeling, and knowing this energy flowing here now to be able to assist in moving into those parts of ourselves that come up to the surface to be healed. And it can come in a myriad of different ways, but to move through it beyond fear, to move through it, to bring the clarity as in a rising sun through the dark night of the soul, that the vision, the higher guidance, and indeed the gift, through it all, the movement of the divine moves in and through us through the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the divine Shekinah presence, feminine in nature. And so it is nurturing, it is loving, it is caring. And so that frequency that comes here through now to bring you into the fullness of who you truly are, to break those bounds that no longer can tether you or hold you, to move beyond the parameters of self-inflicted limitation, to go beyond indoctrination and programming that not only has been eminent in this life, but for many other lifetimes, and carries through the ancestral line. And it is in this now moment where there is a great awakening to truly, truly walk the path of liberation, of joy and happiness in a world that would want you to forget. And so we hold a higher heart of compassion and unconditional love, which encompasses the frequency of joy. As joy is now becoming back online for so many, because it is in the re-remembering of joy that we find ourselves through the darkness, the challenges, and the limitations. That high frequency of joy is what the Holy Spirit brings. When she comes and we open for her to move in, through, and around us, it can be nothing but joy. Because joy brings illumination. Joy brings a higher understanding. Joy brings freedom. Joy brings the memory of who we truly are. And so we breathe the sacred in-breath and out as we open ourselves into this loving embrace of the Holy Spirit that brings joy. And in this great joy, she reminds us of all those wonderful things that have taken place, even in a world of chaos and challenge. But there are those sparks of great joy, of love, of healing, of insight, of illumination. And it is in this energy that she brings into our nervous system to recalibrate and to adjust into the higher frequencies of love, which is joy. And as we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, as our nervous system begins to align and adjust with the higher frequency of this joy stream coming in and through the undulating waveforms of unconditional love, as it brings us into our childhood, brings us, as we can remember, excitement, wonderment, and joy, to bring that, to anchor that, to nudge that, to awaken once again within our nervous system and throughout the physical, mental, and emotional bodies, as it now attunes into the higher frequencies and realms of light, which is joy. And as we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, as we allow this joy to well up in us, as it brings back memories, both in this life and in past lives, in sojourns between lives, where joy was present. And as we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, this frequency of radiant light, holding the frequency of joy through the Holy Spirit, moving in and through our physical, mental, emotional bodies, tethering and connecting the higher frequency realms of joy within the joy that we hold within our very DNA, within the joy that is in our subatomic and atomic level, within the joy that's in the frequency realm of each individual cell, coursing through the nervous system. This joy of life, joy of love, joy of wonderment, joy of experience. For indeed, beloveds, we say to you that as you move forward, you can take the experience in one of two ways. You can move forward with great excitement of new things to come upon the horizon. embracing, making what's unknown known as a great adventure, as a great wonderment, and a great joy. And then there are those who will choose not that path. And in that path, we say to you, find your joy. So you can come online, even in the peace, midst of chaos and confusion. This is the overriding frequency from illumined light, held in the highest celestial realms of which you are a part. It is your choice. And as you choose to align with the higher parts of yourself, as you choose to align to say, I want to rise in vibration and frequency, and so what is there for me to learn? What is there for me to understand? What is there for me to explore? So I can become a more radiant vessel of joy in my life, even as I walk a physical, mental, and emotional plane in a three-density world. For joy brings you into the frequency of the higher dimensions. And fifth dimensional frequency is that of joy, wonderment, excitement. To be as little children again. As little children in the joy of doing anything and creating anything without limitation of all possibilities. And in a world that would bring that energy and cloud it, in a world that would confuse, distort, and miscreate, we say to you, beloveds, in a great re-remembering of who you are, in a great awakening of who and what you are, that you have access to this joy, which transcends all issues, all problems, all challenges. It is a joy beyond the frequency of the earth, beyond the very Milky Way galaxy. It is the joy of the highest realms of light that is attuned to you and you are attuned to it, waiting for you to activate, bring it more into your life, bring it into your awareness, into your consciousness, and choose to live life and move forward as a great adventure. Adjusting to a great adventure into the unknown can anchor more joy into your life. And as you put your intention and your focus on the high frequency of joy that is present in unconditional love, for that is where you have come from. You are birthed and born of unconditional love, way beyond the physical plane of the divine human, the Adam Kadmon, made from the image of which is unconditional love. And in this unconditional love, which is beyond earthly description, but is held within the cosmic memory into the very codons of the DNA, into the very electron spin of atomic and subatomic levels. It is present. It is integrated into you. And it is waking up. It is becoming online. And just as a great sleep, when someone begins to wake up and yawn into a new day, a new horizon, a new sun to greet us, so too does this joy that you will find present upon awakening. When you truly nurture joy, beloveds, you are nurturing the love that you give and the love that you receive. And in this love is healing, is balance, is guidance, is wisdom, and is ascension. So as you breathe the sacred in-breath and out, as you begin to breathe deeply in, through, and around, the radiance of the Holy Spirit that comes in the whitest, whitest, whitest light that is beyond the earthly white that you can conceive. It is a heavenly celestial white, a living light. It's a moving light. It is indeed the light of the Shekinah presence. And in this light that now consumes you as you consume it, as each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath, inhales and exhales, this higher frequency of white, radiant Shekinah light coursing in, through, and around you, within your physical body, mental and emotional, into all the subtle bodies, moving through the higher chakra systems and through the Antakarana, your connection indeed to the very source of all there is. And as you can feel your frequency continue to rise and come into higher realms of spirit that is love, that holds joy. And in that joy comes healing. And in that healing comes balance. And in that balance comes peace. And so we breathe with intention, surrendering to this love, the Holy Spirit, the divine presence, the very movement of God. This anchoring peace expands within us and around us. A perfect balance beyond description. A vessel of love and light, reminding you of joy, reminding you of that joy that you know deep, deep within you, where you have always carried it. And upon this great awakening, beloveds, this joy that rises, for those can hold that frequency of joy, you hold it for others that are unable to tap into the joy. You hold it for the planet. You hold it for all life forms. So one by one, and little by little, the frequency of joy can pierce through the delusions, the fears, the ignorance, the miscreations. And indeed, we say to you, beloved, it takes great intention, great effort to hold that frequency of joy in a world where there is the antithesis of that same joy. But your radiance and your power cannot be dimmed when you put forth your intention, your focus on the frequency of joy. that joy carries the love, the balance, the healing, and the peace. A peace that is so seated and anchored, it is unshakable. As you choose to walk this path of illumined light, to move through those challenges, to make known the unknown, new levels of joy, wonderment, and love awaits you, embraces you. So we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, conscious of this white illumined light from the Holy Spirit, way beyond our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, moving up the Antakarana through the chakra system and into the sacred earth, moving into all of her elements and moving into all of her kingdoms. We anchor the movement, the grace, the flow of the Holy Spirit, seeing this radiance of white light moving through her body, on the surface and in her interior, in all levels of her expression, in all of the kingdoms, in all of her elements. And we make a note to ourselves that upon falling asleep, we will continue to allow this great white light to move through us and to spread it even on higher levels in our dream state. As it continues to move in, through, and around us, as we move into the world with ease and grace. And so now the thought has come for the return. And as we are so anchored, peaceful, and balanced in this frequency, we know that we can bring it forward into our field at will. As we think of joy, we bring this frequency in wherever we are and whatever we are doing. And so we prepare ourselves that on the count of 3, we will be back awake and very grounded and fully in our physical, mental, and emotional body. We are grateful, so grateful for the reminder and the experience of joy. On the count of 3, we will be back, awake and alert as we step down our energies and draw in our electromagnetic field as the great radiant ones that have held this platform for us begins to draw in their electromagnetic field, and our focus is to be back and awake. On the count of 3. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3, you're back, you're awake, you're alert, and we are grounded.